Hi guys, in this video, this is part 6 of the Minecraft One Block series. So, in the last part, I put this little baby mushroom in here.
He was going to teach the Richardson gang and everybody else that they shouldn't mess with him or his farm. I don't know, it's sort of underlying why we never actually clashed in any way, you know. I had 6 band shops, 6 band offices. And one of these young guys, he's like 20, he got bashed up down in the toilets for no reason. I kicked the shit out of him. So I find out that Eddie and Fraser never done. And the rest, my brother George had the sound up and they were down there and do a run, he said, they were all downstairs. And so I went down there and I was very angry and I only looked at one person, and I was all in a group and I went over to pulled Eddie about it shot in the back. Then there was a bit of bleeding outside. But he didn't survive it. And as they entered the premises, Barry fired 2 shots into the ceiling. Barry saw Cornell at the bar, and as he approached him, Cornell said, "Look who's here." But Ronnie didn't answer. He pulled out a Luger and shot Cornell through the forehead. Cornell slunk forward and eventually fell to the floor, where he died moments later. Georgie Cornell was from East London, and he'd gone over to South London to join up with the Richardson gang. So they felt that he changed his loyalty acquaintances from east to south. We wanted Craig to get out with people for very little reason. You know, he didn't need a lot of excuses to get out with people. And this was a bad thing about him because of his mental state. You know, he wasn't a well person. He wasn't well at all.
On the 12th of December 1966, Frank Mitchell was sprung from Dartmoor Prison and brought to this flat on Barking Road.
Frank Mitchell was a product of the environment. He stole a bike when he was a little kid, and his father, instead of going round to the person's house and saying, look, my son's just nicked your boy's bike, here's his bike back, he didn't do that. He took him to the police station. He got the kid in juvenile court.
Mitchell started up when he was a 16-year-old kid. He stole a push bike. He got nicked for that. And then he went through the system, balls to. If the screw said something to him, he chinned him.
One guy got friendly with him in one book, and he got told to send visitors in, give him money in, and look after him. And because he wound up in Brampton for the criminal insane, and he was a handful for the prison system, and with attacking other prisoners. He stabbed Bruce Remington in the scrubs in Barbados, which I forgot. I would know. Yeah, Bruce was a great pal of mine, Bruce. And I was up when I heard about that. I wasn't happy about that anyway. So Ronnie, with all these connections and these.
Now he's gonna try to make a second floor, guys.
Rydberg and all that activities that were going on. He thought he could pull a few strings. And if he got Mitchell out, he would be able to get him a release date. And if he handed himself in after 6 months and behaved himself, and never got in any trouble.
Frankie was a very tough geezer, but he wasn't a good taker.
He thought he could go out and club it out and put himself on the farm and go and do all sorts of villainy with the twins and be their right-hand man, and you know, in his mentality. And of course he couldn't do none of those things. All he could do was exchange one place, one prison for another, really.
Unfortunately, Mitchell was an ridiculous amounts that were bringing food, alcohol.
So they did everything to keep him.
Bye guys, see you in the next video. Bye.